Welcome to CBSE English Tutorial, a visual guide.
All right, let's talk about Susan Hill's play On the Face of It. We're going to dive deep into this one, treating it like a complete exam masterclass to give you everything you need to know to really nail those board exams. So here's our game plan. We'll start with the two main characters, Derry and Mr. Lamb, and their very different worlds. Then we'll zoom in on each of them individually. After that, we'll get into the core themes, perfect for those long answers. And finally, we'll run through some of the big questions you're likely to see on your exam. You know, the whole story really kicks off with this incredible meeting in a garden. We've got our two main characters, Derry and Mr. Lamb. Now, they both have physical impairments, but what's really fascinating, and what the whole play is about really, is just how differently they see the world. This line right here, this is pure gold for any question about Derry's character. It just perfectly captures his deep, deep self-hatred. See, the problem isn't just that he thinks other people are scared of his acid-burned face. He's actually afraid of himself. It's all happening on the inside. And this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? It's the central conflict that pushes the entire story forward. You've got Derry on one side, just drowning in negativity, and then there's Mr. Lamb, who's this complete beacon of optimism and acceptance. Understanding this clash is absolutely key for any comparison question. Okay, let's really dig into Derry's character. Trust me, you're almost guaranteed to get a question about him, so let's build the perfect answer together right now. So when you're writing about Derry, here are the things you have to mention. First, he's just a kid, only 14, which makes him super impressionable. He's withdrawn because of all the cruel things people have said to him, and all of that has led to this massive inferiority complex, all because of the acid that scarred his face. And this is the absolute heart of his problem, right? His entire sense of self, his whole identity has just been swallowed up by his physical appearance. He doesn't even see himself as a person named Derry anymore. He's just this ugly face. And that prison of self-pity is what Mr. Lamb is trying to break him out of. All right, now let's flip the coin and look at Mr. Lamb. It's so important to see how he's not just the opposite of Derry, he's the catalyst. He's the one who makes the entire message of the play possible. For Mr. Lamb, here are your go-to points for any answer. He's an old man with a tin leg from the war. And yeah, he gets lonely, but he doesn't let it beat him. Instead, he turns it into this warm, welcoming attitude. He stays busy, and most importantly, he's the one who sparks Derry's spirit back to life. This right here is the absolute key to his character. His whole philosophy is basically an open-door policy, symbolized by his garden gate that's always open. He doesn't shut anything or anyone out. He finds something interesting in everything, even things other people call weeds. And this open, non-judgmental view is exactly what Derry has been missing his entire life.
Okay, pay close attention here. This section is so important. If you want to get those top marks on the long answer questions, you have to get a handle on the play's main themes.
Think of these as the heavy hitters for your essays. And notice the pattern, right? Each one is a kind of battle. Isolation fighting connection. What appears to be real fighting what's actually real. They all grow out of that first meeting between Derry and Mr. Lamb in the garden. And here's the play's biggest argument, the real takeaway. Is saying that the physical pain, from Derry's burn or Mr. Lamb's leg, that's one thing. But the emotional pain, the feeling of being alone and rejected by society, that's what really, truly hurts. And wow, this quote from Mr. Lamb just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? He's telling Derry that hatred and bitterness, they're like an acid on the inside. They burn you up from within, and that kind of damage is way worse than any physical scar. Seriously, write this down. This is your perfect thesis statement for any essay on this play. The real handicap isn't a burnt face or a tin leg. It's an attitude. It's the prison you build for yourself in your own mind. Okay, theory's done. Let's put it all into practice. We're going to do a quick fire round of some of the most common exam questions you'll see, and I'll give you the core of the answer for each one. You'll see this question all the time. And you know why? Because it forces you to think beyond the obvious, to look deeper than just the surface. So how do you answer it? You talk about that contrast between appearance and reality. On the face of it, Derry is just an angry, bitter kid. But underneath, he's just desperate for connection. On the face of it, Mr. Lamb is just a lonely old man. But in reality, he's full of life and wisdom. The title is a warning. Don't judge a book by its cover. Here's another big one. Basically, they want to know what's the lesson here. What's the takeaway message for all of us about how we should live and how we should treat each other? And the key here is that it's a two-way street. You know, it's not all on the individual to just be more positive. Yes, someone like Derry has to fight against self-pity, but society has a huge responsibility too. We have to be more accepting and less judgmental to stop that feeling of loneliness from ever taking root. Here's a pro tip for your exam. If you get a question about Derry's character development, just walk the examiner through these 4 steps. It's a perfect structure for your answer. And look at step 3. That's the real turning point. When he stands up to his mother to go back to that garden, that's him actively choosing a new way of life.
Okay, last question, and it's a big one that really leaves you thinking. After Mr. Lamb dies at the end, what happens to Derry? Does the change stick, or does he just retreat back into his shell?
And the play gives us a really powerful and hopeful answer. No, absolutely not. The change is real. It's permanent. Mr. Lamb might be physically gone, but his ideas, his philosophy, that's alive and well inside Derry now. That final, incredible line says it all. Derry realizes that if he backs down now, he'll be backing down forever. He has made his choice, and that choice is his new beginning.
Thank you for watching. See you again in a bit.